What's up? What's up? What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
guys? And we here, our first live, live at 5, man. We live at 7:30, man. Pre-snap read, you already know what it is. This your host, Mr. Bridges on top. You already know what it is, man. And I got my two lovely co-hosts. I'm gonna let the ladies go first. You know, we got the
Yes,
moderator. You
sir.
know, the thing that keep everything in order. You already know. She from the boot. You know, she went to the LSU. Then she became a rattler. We already know her name, Robin McGee.
Hey everybody. Very excited. Oh, I love a good live show.
Exactly. Then we got that dog eat dog world, that Q, that Omega. Man, he went to Winston-Salem State, but you know he had to bring his thing down to FAMU. Everybody bring their talents down to FAMU. You already know what it is. He got the boy Jay Good.
Yes, sir. From a ram to a rattler, dog. We out here, man. Love the show, dog. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir, man. And make sure y'all please subscribe. Make sure y'all please follow. Make sure y'all please tell a friend. Man, this show is for y'all. This show is for the FAMU people. This show is for all HBCU people. So you know how we do. We already gonna go into the topics of the day. Robin, do your thing.
Listen, JSU has announced a huge partnership deal with the American Airlines. So this happened a couple days ago. The JSU, prime time, they're just really handling these sponsorships, these deals tremendously. But it's with like amazing businesses. So the official airline, American Airlines, was excited to provide Jackson State, with VIP access to things, with rewards and benefits to the JSU fans. There's a lot of different things that's connecting with American and the Tiger Nation. So it's just this very significant moment for JSU to not only have this, proud partnership, but, it speaks volumes to our HBCUs having, all of these connections that they're making, partnerships that they're doing. So I'm hoping that not only JSU would be, a benefactor of something like this. We want to see other HBCUs that be able to have partnerships just like this, and they continue moving forward. Like, we don't want JSU to just have this partnership with American Airlines. Like, we want all the other airlines, Southwest, Delta. I don't know. We don't want Spirit. But I mean, they just got bought out by JetBlue, so they're emerging. So there's that, or Frontier. I don't know whoever it was. They're connecting. We just don't want to, but it's neither here nor
The
there.
ghetto. The
Crazy.
ghetto.
Listen. But y'all, that's
Shoot.
awesome. Who in the light of this, who would we think now that kind of like JSU is like, the pillar, the trailblazer, if you will? Who do you guys think is going to be like someone else or some other program that could really benefit from like a partnership like this moving forward?
Look, I mean, for me, we've been in the news. I don't want to be biased, but we've been in the news a lot. FAMU, we be
FAMU.
doing our thing too. So y'all talking about JSU. I know JSU been doing their thing, but down there in Tallahassee, they're doing their thing too. So I think
Hmm.
FAMU would be a good organization, to partner with the airline to, kind of get some things going.
Let make the seats can recline, man. I know that's right.
Shoot.
I hope.
Man, man, I know y'all heard of Soul Train, but let's call it Soul Plane, bro. We bringing the soul back to
That Kevin
HBCU. We
Hart.
doing everything. Yeah, we getting the soul plane on and popping. This
Dog,
is
Method
Hey,
amazing.
Man.
hey, look,
Fantastic.
man. Every flight got two band members playing every flight.
Mm-hmm. Just know some soulful music gonna be played on the planes of American Airlines when JSU step on the scene.
Yes, sir.
All I need
So
is the ladies, the dancers. They need to be the flight attendants doing the little when the thing comes down from the from the ceiling. Put
Put
your oh,
Yes,
this is your seatbelt. You fasten it like this, and if it's an emergency, you take the bag and put
just
it
hit the
around your and fasten it behind you, and make sure you put it on yourself before you help others.
man.
Man,
Listen,
I tell you what. If I'm on that flight, I ain't paying attention to nothing. I'm be looking at them ladies the whole time.
that's it. That's it. But that's how. But listen, hey, listen. All I know is JSU is making a statement, as they should, as they are. They've just like literally we talk about this and we joke about it like every week, but like they're literally like the news every week, but it's
every
something
week.
different and it's something beneficiary. It's something that we want to see more of and around our HBCU communities with other schools. Like we're gonna build JSU up for sure. But then I'm looking at like our other schools that could be able to do this as well. And like, okay, how do we get this or learn from what they're doing? Maybe they can be able to teach some of these schools about like how to network, how to connect, how to make those relationships and conversations. So they're
Yeah.
doing something. Shout out to them. American Airlines do the,
I mean,
And
but on top of that, though, you got to remember who's in charge at JSU. So I'm sure he holds a big, a big play of, hey, I got connections everywhere. And not only that, they
yeah,
getting all these 5-star transfers. So those are not a lot of people that they already know. So it's like it's easier to network that way. I hope
yeah.
like that Dion can kind of like push a little networking on these other universities and kind of get that going. But I'm glad he's getting the ball rolling in the right direction.
Well, just to
definitely.
kind of name off a little bit of the sponsorship and what it entails. So, on this website, HBCU Connect, thank you for this information, but it says that Americans' activation of the sponsorship will include providing a private charter jet or flight
Mm-hmm.
that will have
Private.
select JSU travel plans. So, select JSU
Mm-hmm.
away games is when they'll utilize these private flights, right? So not all of the flights
Mm-hmm.
that'll go for away games, but of course, when you have something that's like right down the road, they'll probably use, more of a on the bus type of tour. But they're going to be doing some in-game activations. Whenever you see like sponsorships at in games, promoting them, handing out paraphernalia, those things of that nature. Specifically, they're beginning their home opener against Grambling. So it's going to be great to kind of see those sponsorships being exclusive throughout the season, in season away games versus home games as well. Because imagine, like, all of these things that we've seen for in game sponsorships, but also to have a partnership that includes, traveling and away. I think is really beneficial for them. And, it's a long term type of thing. We want them to continue growing and have those pieces. So, yeah, it's going to be great.
And think about this, Robin. Like you forgot about the one thing that Jackson State that's just bring Jackson State out the fans. The fans are
Yeah.
going to have like literally like discount codes or travel codes to fly to these
Yeah.
different things. And the
Yeah.
students, you can't forget about the students. Students
Yeah.
need to go home. Definitely.
Right.
That's a plug right there for the
Yeah.
students. Oh, I
Listen,
gotta go
I
home to
have my American,
Chicago. American
my
Airlines.
rewards. I do have my rewards for American Airlines. They have treated me very well. So I will say that. I concur.
Yeah. So
Definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
they already got the students. This was a major deal, like because with the students going home, like you said, and the discounts on the games, they
Yeah,
already travel pretty well. So now it's going to
right,
be crazy at every game.
right. It is. It definitely is. So shout out to JSU doing it big one more time for the sponsorships. I love to see
Yeah,
it. I want to see more of this. It needs to be in the news. That's what's going to make the world run.
definitely, definitely.
Now, shifting gears though, South Carolina State. Now, this is what's crazy to me, right? Now, I don't really know all the ins and outs. I know this is your state,
Yeah,
Ron, so you can talk a little
yeah,
bit about more about that. But just
yeah.
to kind of introduce the topic, South Carolina State athletic director has been fired. And what's interesting, and this is less than a month after the two head coaches, both men and women of the basketball teams, have been hired. So let's talk a little bit more about like how they're connected, maybe to why he's fired, or if there's a connection.
Sure. Your ass ain't getting the job till the cows come home.
Mm,
That's just point blank period. Your ass ain't getting the job till the cows come home.
hmm
And everybody in the country know the cows don't never come home. So guess what?
hmm
Your ass is gone. just, just know,
That was
just know that you
that was the best
I come.
analogy to introduce South Carolina
That's the
State.
country boy. I tell you,
That,
man.
That's
that,
That's the
that,
country
that's
they're
the
the
boy.
country.
countryest
It,
analogy.
just know the cows don't never come home. Your ass ain't getting the job. You ain't got Title IX on your ass. So hey, that's just three strikes on you. But all jokes aside, man, just the stories I hear and just talking to the basketball team a couple years ago. It's crazy that he was just, not funding the money right to these organizations. And
Gotcha.
it's hard, especially for a team that's a basketball team that travels like that. They need food, they need money to wash their clothes. Like, it's a story that I told on off script the other day. Like, they came, I think they was on a road trip and they had to go to Bethune, then they came up to Tallahassee. These girls was washing their clothes in a bathtub in the hotel room.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
In the bathtub in
Yes.
the hotel
And
room. That's
yes.
Wow.
And literally, like the day before the game, because the day before the game, they show up to practice. And they was like, hey, we need some help. Because literally, they came to me because I was talking to them because I'm from South Carolina. They was like, hey, we need some help. We need to wash our clothes because we washed them in the tub. I'm like, y'all wash our clothes in the tub? Y'all could have, I was like, my first reaction, I was like, y'all could have been bringing it to us. We could have washed it for y'all. Like, what's really going on? Y'all ain't had no money to wash it.
right.
Nah, we've been doing this for a minute. So,
Wow.
just being HBCU love, we helped them out. And, like, literally, like, the equipment manager called the other equipment managers around the HBCUs, like, yo, help this team out because, like, they don't have the necessary funds to wash their clothes. So
Right.
it's just stuff like that. Like, that's crazy.
That sounds like
Well,
a Title
didn't
IX problem.
speaking of Title IX, didn't the former women's basketball coach and the men's basketball coach, not the new ones, but the former ones, didn't they file a lawsuit against
Yeah.
Stanley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did see that, but of course, I didn't really look into it at the time of them, really putting in the news because I feel like it got a lot of kind of brushed to the side. And now that we're seeing him being fired, it's like, oh, by the way, this was occurring as well. He was actually being sued. And the firing, he abruptly fired the women's coach. And then immediately right after that, she, filed the lawsuit against the
Right.
university and against him. So I'm like, and then 2 weeks after that, you have the former the men's head coach also filed a suit against him. So I'm like, or the university, but he's a part of the university as an athletic director. He's the leader of the athletics. So it's like, what in the world did you expect? If you have abruptly fired someone without cause, I don't know if you all know the information, but I don't even know what was his reasoning for firing the coach in the first place. And then boom, after naming the two other coaches, you're out of there. So I'm like, either this was already a pending investigation, you know what I mean? Like as the months continued, because I do believe that he fired the women's coach in like February. So, and it's August. So I'm like, it had to
Right.
have been some type of, conversation, president, whomever, and was like, the safest thing to do, in my opinion, fire him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's so sad that you can take that. See, that's the people we got to get out that take advantage of the power that they have. And because you're not going to grow. Your program can't grow with that type of mentality.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's been a problem at a lot of our universities. Not only at the Division I level, Division II level as well. The athletic program is not necessarily allocating the money in the correct way. But it's just sad to see, somebody like himself, going through that. Because it was almost like a snowball effect. It was one thing leading to another thing, leading to another thing. And it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off the ship before it sinks. Or go ahead and get out of here before it sinks all the way. But I mean, if you want to connect the dots, it looks like it was something of a fun allocation, especially it looked like to the women's athletic the basketball team. Because why in the world a college team have to wash their own clothes in a bathtub?
In the bathtub,
not in the washing machine. In a bathtub.
In the bathtub, bro. No. Just think about this. Just think about this, man. You trying to do like this in the bathtub, like you in the old days. So
exactly.
first, you either A, gotta have the shower running, or B, fill the tub up, wash it, drain it, wash the tub out, fill the tub back up again, rinse it out. Like that's a whole 2 hour process, bro.
Yeah.
That's a whole 2 hour process. It like for real. It's like they playing AAU ball out here.
Not
They play
AAU.
they play whole AAU ball out here, bro. Like
Boy,
they ain't signed up for this.
boy, hey, you boy, you
Like
play
you should
double
have an
headers back to
equipment
back.
manager. That's literally what the equipment manager is for. You go on your games, you have that stuff washed, you get it ready, you give it back to the teams, period. Now we're not gonna wash your daily wear to wear, your personal business. That's you get you some quarters and go to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
local laundromat. But that's sick. So I'm hoping that now that Stanley is out, they have a shift in who they are going to hire, who's going to, really kind of clean up the mess. And that's one thing that you got to think about when you are hiring new staff to someone or in a position where they have completely messed up and obliterated the previous source in this environment. You got to have somebody that's willing to take the patience and take their time to clean that up, and then in order to be ready for the next coming years so that won't occur again. I think sometimes, like, I feel like we had the similar situation conversation of Grambling and how they were just hiring these folks. Take for instance like the volleyball coach, or take for instance like the offensive coordinator, like hiring people immediately that are stepping into roles that need to be dealt with first of the previous issues, because at the end of the day, whoever you're firing, it's really not their job to clean it up before they leave. Like that was the whole reason of them being fired, because they messed it up.
No.
So it's like getting rid of them and then finding someone who's going to have the means and the time and the management to be like, okay, this is what happened wrong. This is how we can fix it. And then this is how we can prevent it from happening again.
Right.
So hopefully, South Carolina State doesn't use this opportunity to just throw somebody in there, which I feel like they won't, but I don't know too much about the program. So that would be my urging, is don't rush into this process. You got to find somebody that's willing to do the work and continue.
Right. At the same time, the fans, we have to be. I'm not necessarily a fan of South Carolina State. I'm a fan of all HBCUs, but fans have to be fans have to be patient as well. Because when you're put into a situation where you're in a hole, you first have to get out of that hole first in order to grow. So it'll be a little bit of time before they get everything back situated, so they're buying, getting a new locker room, getting whatever they have to buy, because they first have to get out of the hole they're already in.
Right.
Well, that Celebration Bowl helped them in a long way. They do have an interim AD. Her name is Miss Campbell, so she went to South Carolina State. So hopefully, she get the celebration money and divide it evenly throughout, all athletics and everything. And for me, I'm a South Carolina State fan because I'm from South Carolina. So y'all gonna have to step it up. Like,
but if you want something done right, you get a woman. Hey. Okay.
A black woman.
You gonna argue with that?
A black woman. But no, I want to build on my men out there. They're doing great. Okay. We got some great men athletic directors and men in administrative roles. But these powerful women. Yeah.
When you mention Miss Campbell's name, man, make sure you put Hall of Famer behind her name now. She in the Hall of Fame at South Carolina. She was
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
My
bad. Please don't beat me up, South Carolina State fans. I love y'all. I'm from Gaffney, so don't beat me up. Yeah, Malcolm Long about to be in the Hall of Fame this year, so shout out to Malcolm Long. Won like 3 MEAC championships for South Carolina. So shout out to South Carolina State, and y'all gonna do good this year, man.
Yeah. All right now. So awesome news for our footballers, especially at FAMU, JSU. Really all the HBCUs are really getting a lot of love, but specifically we've been seeing not only these NFL scouts arrive at these practices, but they have been consistently coming, which is huge, because we oftentimes kind of see like the shift of like, all right, NFL teams are understanding that they got to give the HBCU love, But then there's another thing of like, okay, y'all are actually giving the equitable attention as you would for any other teams. And that's what we want. We don't want you to just be a one-hit wonder, right? So specifically, we have FAMU and JSU practices that have been visited from these NFL scouts, multiple scouts from multiple teams. Specifically, like about 10 teams are showing up, or their scout representation are showing up. I did wanted to highlight, I just literally found an article from the Falcons. So exclusive NFL, like granted, we're like not even close to the NFL draft for 2023. Like we just did that in April, but they're already, you know, of course, and this is not just, you know, for the Falcons. I'm sure all of the teams are now looking at like, who are we going to choose next? Like now that the draft is over, we're still consistently drafting. That's just how it works. But the Atlanta Falcons had made a statement about how they always travel to Florida and they frequent, you know, Miami or FSU, right? But now they're starting to frequent at FAMU more, and it is becoming one of the top HBCU programs for college football. So, you know, they have a lot of targets that are at FAMU. So it's really cool to kind of not only see them, you know, representing the Falcons, but also making statements of why they're there. Like they want to say, like, we're here for fam. We're here for these players, X, Y, and Z. We're here to like not even make one visit, but make a recurring visit. So I'm really excited to see like the FAMU Ramos and also JSU as well, because JSU is getting a lot of, you know, feedback and a lot of scouts coming to them as well. But I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about of like Coach Prime having the connections, being a person of leadership, and you know, probably knowing all of the NFL people at every team. But to see that type of attention also being to FAMU, not to say that they don't have the same connections, but they also don't have a Coach Prime as well. But they are also getting that same thing. So I want to, you know, build up fam, you know, in that realm of like, you don't have to have a Coach Prime to be in the spotlight, to be, you know, getting the attention that's necessary for you guys. And then other schools can definitely be in this limelight. So I want the scouts to understand that there are other HBCUs out there as well, but want to build them up. I love to see it. More HBCUs need to be drafted. NFL players. Boom.
Let me say this right quick, Rob. I know you were speaking on everything that's that Coach Prime has done, but I also want to speak on what these athletes have done, because you know Prime has introduced that networking kind of deal. Like, hey, these are my players, but when they get to the NFL, they got to produce. You know, you got guys like Darius Leonard that are producing. You got another guy, a rookie right now. You got Durant from South Carolina State, the corner. He's been running with the ones for the LA Rams. You got Josh Williams. I believe he was a 4th-round pick out of Fayetteville State. He's been doing really good at the Chiefs camp. You also got James Houston. I just saw him watching him last night on the Hard Knock for the Lions. He's been doing good, and it's been nothing but, you know, positive things I've been hearing about all these guys from HBCUs. So they don't have a choice but to kind of like, hey, maybe we did drop the ball. Maybe we have missed out on these players that have been coming from these universities, because these are some ballers that we have. I ain't even mentioned Marquise Bell. He's been doing good too. So a lot of the players are making names for themselves to kind of come to the back. Like, hey, yeah, Coach Prime not lying. We like that now. We playing with the ones. I can strap up whoever you want me to strap up. So I think the players are doing a good job as well.
Yeah,
definitely. Just like I was telling you guys earlier, I was at FAMU practice like a couple of days ago, and just being there, just seeing those guys competing, and like it was literally the second day of practice, and those like they was getting after it. I was like, I haven't been to a practice like this since a long time, and people practice like this like mid-season. They're practicing like they're in mid-season right now. I know JSU is too. You know, just watching the scouts come up and talk to the coaches and talk to the players, like it was amazing to me just to see like Isaiah Land get to talk to a scout from the Atlanta Falcons. I was like, wow, this is
that young man is going somewhere. Period.
He going to leave.
Yeah, like his dream is about to come true. So, you know, just seeing those reactions and seeing those scouts really show up. Even the Jackson State, even this prime time, let the scouts on the field. You rarely see that. Let the scouts on the field in the practice sessions, in the drills, writing notes down. So like that's amazing to me, because you know, literally like 3 or 4 years ago, we would never see that. Never see that. So to me, it's just a testament. I can say thanks to Prime, but like you said, Jerry, thanks to these athletes. Because if
Hmm.
these athletes really didn't produce, would they be coming to these
Right.
practices now?
Yeah.
And and I also want to mention to the fact that it's August. You know what I'm saying? So for them to come this early on in the season is saying a lot. So I got to see this guy right now
Yeah.
to see how he is before the season starts. Because if they're coming late in the season, like, oh, I'll get to him when I get to him. But this seems like it's the main priority if you're coming in August to see our guys at our HBCUs.
Right. And I feel like even just thinking as an athlete, right? This, I don't want to put the label on it's scary, but there's an element of like, oh, like this is really happening, right? So it's like not only do you have to share the excitement and the emotions of like actually seeing these scouts there because they see them just like other scouts, see them, you know what I'm saying? There's a mutual respect there. But it's also a line of like, okay, they're here for a reason. Do your job. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would like really hope, in these moments that we're seeing this shift, the more representation, the more visual exposure of like the scouts coming is like athletes, y'all just keep doing what you're doing because that's why they're there in the first place. You don't need to do anything differently from what you have been doing. That is why they're there. You know what I'm saying? If anything, push yourself, don't push yourself too hard that you become not yourself, right? So it's like, and I hope that that is also being instilled throughout this process because it's like a amount of times we've kind of seen how athletes kind of get in their head is like, oh, they there, they there, they there. Either one or two things. They get a little bit too cocky and they start acting like they don't know what they're doing, or they become so overwhelmed and they don't, buckle down and get to a sense of like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I do this stuff every day. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow your emotions to overtake and be like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta show this. No, you ain't gotta do nothing but what you are, trained to do. So that's what I would hope, moving forward and seeing more of this, of like, them getting that attention. It's just don't switch up. Do your
Yeah,
same stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Take care of your body, take care of your mental health, all of that factors in. And it's gonna be great, So
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that pressure either burst pipes or made diamonds. So if it's your
There it
time,
is.
young man, go ahead and show out. I remember
He
at
said burst pipes or made diamonds. That
yeah,
is
that's a
a
fact.
proverb, Jerry.
That's a
I'm
fact.
Yeah.
writing that down.
And
Yeah, that's a
I'm
and
fact.
writing
and,
that
and, and,
down.
and
Wow.
another proverb from the hood, R.I.P. the young dog get paid, young nigga get paid.
Uh-huh.
Hey, young nigga get
Okay.
paid.
Uh-huh.
Hey, young nigga get paid. Whatever you do, so
R.I.P. the
you
dog,
get
though.
paid. Hey,
R.I.P. the dog.
rule
This
number
is sick.
one.
Really?
Okay. I need y'all. But yeah, that's the last thing y'all guys need to worry about getting paid. Make sure you do the work on the field, and it's gonna pay off in the
Hmm.
long run.
Hmm.
Yes. Absolutely. 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 Yeah. All right. FCS top 25 poll. We have JSU is ranked at number 15. However, there are some teams on the bubble, which include FAMU, South Carolina State, and North Carolina A&T. So, knowing that, what do you guys think that FAMU, South Carolina State, North Carolina A&T, either all of them or choose who you think? What do they need to focus on this year to help them to get back into, instead of like a bubbled number, get back into like a real consistent, playing area? What do they need to focus on? Coaches, what do they need to focus on? What do y'all
So for me, I think, right now with JSU being at the top of the line, that's the top dog. That's who everybody knows about. If these
think?
teams can come out here and beat JSU, I think that's one check to mark off the list. Not
Yeah,
only
right.
that, but to also go to the Celebration Bowl and win that. If they're able to accomplish those two goals, I think you won't have a question of being in that top 25 or top 15. I
Yeah.
actually think right now, I think Fam should actually be in there, but we ain't gonna get into that conversation. But yeah, that's the goal they're
Nah,
gonna
we
have to
gonna
do
get in
right
it. Nah, we gonna get in that conversation. Nah, we gonna get into that conversation.
now.
Listen, I get it. I think it's just more so like, okay, we see and granted, I don't really know all about, what I'm saying as far as like the rankings and what's the best, approach on changing your numbers or getting to where, I know winning is key. I know that that's a factor just off the strength of how you can get ranked for anything in life. The more you win, the more you get up there. I think that also this year we talked about the diversity in schedule. I think that'll truly help them. Knowing that a lot of the teams we talked about, FAMU or even North Carolina A&T, how they're in a whole new conference, this year as opposed to what they were last year. I think all of those things kind of cater in, and I'm interested in seeing how this new schedule for them is going to impact how they're ranking. As long as they are, taking advantage of the times that they are really able to win the game that they should win and not have any upsets, I don't foresee them being able to say, okay, we didn't give it our all. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, everybody else is going to be giving it their all as well. All the other, ranked teams in the 25, they're going to be, shutting stuff down as well. But specifically, I feel like for them, those teams that are on the bubble, it really does matter with these shifts in the games and seeing how well they're able to take advantage of those things too. So that's what I'm thinking going forward for them.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like 15 is a high number for JSU. I don't think it just being honest.
You don't think that they're deserving of 15?
I think they're more like I say they're 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, I say they're 20 though.
That's how I truly feel.
So what do you think is making them 15? What it is like, take yourself out of it. If you was objective looking at everything, what is kind of giving them the push to be 15?
Oh, because of Travis Hunter. Like that. But that's the only thing. But we don't know how he's going to play against other competition.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. I feel like they should be 20. And I feel like FAM should be at least 23. And South Carolina State should be 25. Ooh. Why are those three? I feel like the way FAMU finished the year out, they finished tremendously. Just going on that streak to go to the playoffs. South Carolina State, just to go on that streak in the MEAC and go to the celebration mode, then be an undefeated SWAC team in the celebration mode. Not beat, but straight dog.
Yeah.
They straight
I'll
dog.
agree with it. They got some dogs.
Yeah, they got some dogs. And Jerry know about some dogs. Jerry know about the dogs. But just
Jerry's a dog expert, if you will.
Yeah, Jerry's a dog expert. just let it be known. Jerry's a dog expert. So I'm an eye test expert. I see who got it, see who don't. But South Carolina State and FAMU, they got it this year, and I don't see why they're on the bubble. North Carolina A&T, I can see why they're on the bubble because they're in a different conference. But the predictions this year for North Carolina A&T, they saying they're winning the conference. So for me, I feel like North Carolina A&T is probably going to be ranked higher than South Carolina State, FAMU, and Jackson State. Just in my opinion, because they're in a stronger conference. They play better opponents. Not saying that SWAC is weak, but like they're playing better opponents. So, that's just my little soap opera, getting on the soapbox, and I'm going to get off.
Mm-hmm. I kind of add to that, Ron, man. I understand why A&T is out of that conversation as well. And I kind of agree with them being out of that conversation because with a team being new to a conference, you don't have a lot of access to players having, a chance to play those teams before. A lot of times when you play in the same conference over and over, you know what you're going to get. What kind of offense they're going to run, defense going to run. You know what it's going to be like in the stadium. You know everything about that opponent before you play them. When you are playing in a new conference, you don't know anything. You can only go off of last year's film, and a lot of times last year's film will change what they're doing this upcoming year. So A&T, I don't know. Yes, I think that's a bold prediction for them to win the conference. I don't really have them win the conference. I got them finishing, second and third. But A&T does have a powerhouse program, which does have the ability to win that conference. But I don't think they're quite there yet.
Yeah. And one more comment, just like for Jackson State and just like for all these other schools, FAMU and South Carolina, we got to win out of conference games. Like I know we play North Carolina, That's going to be a hard game, but we got to compete. Like we at least got to put 20 on the board to make these FCS voters to be like, okay, they put 20 up against North Carolina in the first half. Okay, we can kind of push them up in the rankings. We have to do that so we can get looked at. We can get these looks so these players can go to the NFL and stuff like that. Just like Jackson State, they play Campbell. That's going to be a hard game, even though they
Yeah.
play them at homecoming. That's going to be a tough game for Jackson State,
Yeah.
Campbell, and also playing Tennessee State. So
Mhm.
just games like that, you gotta win.
Let me
And
ask you.
Tennessee already coming with a vengeance how they tried to play them with that
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
They just say, "Oh, y'all gonna get this
Best believe
work."
it.
What
They
it
gonna get
is?
this work.
What it is?
They really tried to play them
Ready.
though. I really got to give it to Tennessee State because I would have been mad too. I'm like, my God, bring me y'all contract, fine. Just finish out. Oh,
Exactly.
sick.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, Ron, before you move on, man. So if let's say we do play well against North Carolina, do you think that impacts North Carolina's ranking more, or do you think that impacts our ranking more? As far as moving us up or moving them down?
Both. As far as like moving them down and moving us up, because you got to think about it. North Carolina is in the power. They're in the Power Five. Like they're in, even though they're a basketball school, they're in the Power Five. They can literally look up and go to the ACC championship this year. You don't know what type of team they're going to have. So just looking at that and looking at you're supposed to have that D1 talent, and it's supposed to be a level above. It's supposed to be a stepping stone above, and it's a money game. You ain't supposed to lose money games. And you saw what happened against FSU when they played a team called Jackson. They don't like nobody that's called Jackson. Jackson is not allowed in that Doak Campbell Stadium. Just know that.
They don't even play Jackson 5 in there no more.
Shut up, Jerry. They don't even play Michael Jackson.
If your last name Jackson, Sanders, they ain't talking to you.
Samuel Jackson, Michael Jackson, all y'all cannot come.
Shoot, your last name Jackson, they is not let you in that school. Just go ahead, take your ass fam. Shoot,
it's really no. It's actually Hugh Jackson looking like that little boy in the meme, and he like, so am I allowed? Because I don't want to part of this.
I'm so glad that I went to JSU.
Oh gosh, that's the time.
That was funny.
Funny. Well, I would like to start the voting process between us of who do we think, should get HBCU player MVP. We got offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and coach of the year, right? So to start off, I would actually, I want to cast my vote in for defensive player of the year. And I want to say Isaiah Land, because I was looking at this young man's profile, okay? Not only was this, like, he's currently doing an amazing job, right? Okay, FAMU, you already know, right? But he was also redshirted, okay, a season ago. And to go from being a redshirted athlete, right, coming in and, like, one, we just talked about the Falcons, and that's actually who the Falcons are, just to kind of throw that out there. But others, other programs, other teams are looking at him as well. But he just had an outstanding, statistic, so many numbers, 4.6 40-yard dash, 10.9 broad jump, 375-pound bench press, 600-pound squat. Like, the man is a beast. He's a linebacker, FAMU, Buffalo native. He moved to Atlanta. So has so many different, experiences. And I think he's just taking it everything with stride. So I would like to cast my vote for, again, Isaiah Land, defensive player of the year, period. Argue with your mama.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Rob, I don't think it's a lot of other players that are matching up to him when it comes to those stats. For me to go out here and say I don't think Isaiah Land's gonna win it, I would be lying to y'all. So I also gotta agree. He has the profile, he has the build, he has the stats, the numbers to be a next level guy. You know, I can see him playing on Sundays. I can actually see him being a speed rusher in the NFL. Not just a linebacker, but a speed rusher and doing well at that. So Isaiah Lamb is also my pick as well, and not even being biased towards FAMU.
Correct.
I ain't gonna lie, I really had to do some soul searching. I had to think about this. You know, you got Aubrey Miller, then you got Isaiah Lamb. You got Aubrey Miller, you got Isaiah Lamb. You got Aubrey Miller, you got Isaiah Lamb. Isaiah, it's gonna be hard. It's going to be hard for him to get this one this year because they're gonna double team the hell out of him this year, and I already know. So whatever scheme Coach Willie got for that boy, it better be a good ass scheme to get him off the edge, to put him in different places, to just to get to the quarterback. And Aubrey Miller, he returning this year, and he's definitely gonna go to the draft if he continue the body of work that he put in from last year. So it's just hard for it's just hard for me to pick. But statistically, if I had to pick somebody and somebody just pops out on paper, it has to be Lamb. Like it has to be Lamb. It has to be Lamb. My second guess, literally, just like Mr. Cameron said, hey, it has to be Miller. Like it's those two dogs this year. It's literally those two dogs this year, and I don't see nobody else like putting in the work or putting in the effort, or like I just can't see it. I can't physically see it unless you prove me wrong, and I want you to prove me wrong.
I like it. All right, next, offensive player of the year. I'm gonna let y'all submit your votes for that because I was very, very animate about my defensive player. So I'll take a step back.
Okay. All right. So I know what you guys are gonna do. Everybody's gonna go out here and say Shedeur is gonna be the guy to pick. He's gonna be the guy to pick. He's gonna be the guy to pick. But for me, I'm going with one of his favorite targets. I'm going with Malachi. I think Malachi is gonna come out here and start showing out because he was one of his favorite targets at JSU. So I'm gonna go with Malachi to come out here and just start taking over.
Ron, do you oppose?
Hell yeah, I oppose.
What are you thinking? What is happening?
Wildman is nice, dog.
Hey, he nice. I ain't gonna lie. He is nice. I ain't gonna lie, but whoo, for a receiver, man,
but you see what he did last year?
Yeah, I did.
I think he might have tied the conference record, and he didn't play the full season. Now he did not play the full season. So for him to have a full season, he's gonna not only break that record and have a year under his belt, he's gonna demolish that record and gonna have a choice. He's not gonna have a choice.
Okay. It makes sense.
It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. But yeah,
so who do you think?
Pick, I don't pick a quarterback. You already know. But I ain't on JSU bandwagon at all. I ain't picking him.
Okay.
I'm picking that boy from Texas, Andrew Body.
Okay.
And Andrew Big Arm Body. Because that boy played less games and put on more stats. Okay. You can't argue with that. Right. You can't argue with less games and more stats.
You can't argue with that.
His body of work is just crazy. Like he threw over 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His longest completion was 68 yards. And that to be a freshman and to throw over 2,000 and not struggle.
Yeah, he is only a freshman.
And I'm sorry to say this. I love FAMU, but damn, he did 10 times better than McCabe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I thought that was a hot take, Ron, but you really kind of added some evidence in it. It ain't too bad of a take, man.
But think about this. Think about this. If you put Andrew Body at FAMU, what would happen?
Yeah.
If you put Andrew Body at Jackson State.
But hold on, man. Hold on. Didn't they lose a lot of their offensive line this past year? I'm want to say,
but you gotta think about it. He was running for his life though.
Now he was running for his life. He said he had conditional efforts.
They ain't got that line, dog.
He was a runner. He's a track star.
He's a track star. This boy was running. This boy was running for his life.
Yeah.
This boy was running for his life. So, and that's for you, Jerry. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Right there, he hold the record. We got Shaq for the MEAC. Oh yeah, we definitely Shaq for the MEAC. Ooh, we forgot about Shaq. Yeah. So good point there. Cause Shaq, he a beast.
Yeah.
I say he better than your pick, Jerry. To be honest,
I'll go with Shaq before I'll go with Shaq.
You gotta think about it.
No, he is like that, bro. I won't talk about no season record. I'm talking about.
But we gotta take consideration. We talk about player of the year, like player of the game, player of the year. You know what I'm saying? I said I was gonna take a step back. So let me mind my business.
You took a step in now. Yeah, we did what you got to say.
Exactly.
No, okay. I actually was gonna go with Shedeur at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. For offensive player of the year. But now, thanks, Lawrence, that he mentioned Shaq. I think long term, knowing what he can do seasonal wise, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket just because I've seen Shaquille and what Shedeur, and what he has done, and just like the whole prime JSU, all of the fame that goes into that. Looking at players, looking at statistics, I would definitely have to say that it's still it's head to head as far as the players, but I think Shaq. I would choose Shaq for that for sure. Yeah. That's all I'm going.
Man, just looking at Shaq's stats, yeah, he literally had 5 catches, 95 yards, 3 touchdowns against Jackson State, 9 catches against Norfolk, 141 yards and 3 touchdowns on one game. That's a Madden number right there.
Yeah, he a dog now. He a dog.
Yeah.
And he played against A&T now. A&T supposed to be up there with their defense. 5 catches, 96 yards. So like, if this boy stay healthy, the whole season, you can't. It's hard to compete. That's like competing with. I ain't even gonna say Megatron because he's physical, so he's more like a TO.
Yeah.
So you saw what he did to the Shedeur. Not Shedeur, Shiloh and them boys in the backfield. And they was claiming they the best secondary in the SWAC. So
I think that's a good pick. I think we got him on that one.
We're gonna see.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
We're gonna have to see. Okay, now overall player comes to your heart. Ready, set, rhyme, go. HBC MVP. Everybody went first. If it's fair, is everybody went first. So
true. You know what I really thought about this. If I had to pick a sleeper, if I had to pick a sleeper, it's probably going to be, I say, Shedeur Sanders again. I don't want to say that, but I'm gonna just say,
hey man, get a man some flowers, dog.
Right.
Yeah, I got to.
Look beside him. You're not. Don't now.
I
I'm
mean,
talking about something I don't want
because
to. Well, don't do him like that.
I don't want to, but I have to. I have to because I don't want to be biased and I don't want to like be that person
Okay.
that just don't pick JSU people. Now I can
Are you
admit
choosing him? Wait, Ron. But this is my question. Are you choosing him out of the respect of he's actually MVP, you know, like overall listic, when you were just looking at him as a player, take away JSU. Let's just say we're looking at, Shedeur Sanders as a player. Forget the mascot, forget the university. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's going to be a lot more fair to look at it in that respect. And then is your answer still the same? Because if it's still the same, then it's Shedeur, regardless of where, all the attention is coming from. Because I get it.
and
That's how I felt about offensive player of the year. I was like, okay, yeah, he's a great player and he's dope and he's going to be deserving of anything that he gets. But then when I was like, if I'm looking at the player, I got to give it a Shaq. So that's why I'm like, if that helps.
To your answer, no, but
okay,
because I know they're going. I know the politics are going to be played. I know a lot of politics going to be played. If it was me, I'd pick Andrew Body MVP just because what he can do. With nothing. I don't care if you lose 5 games. If you got the stats to prove it, then you're going to be MVP. But even though if you lose 5 games and somehow Sanders only lose 2 games and the stats don't still compare, Sanders gonna get it.
Yeah,
just off the muscle of the talent around him.
Exactly.
Just like just the talent around him, where he can throw the ball, who he can get the ball to, he's gonna get it regardless, hands down.
That argument is going to be, if he's not winning games, how can he be the most valuable player if your value is not equaling wins? You get what I'm saying? That's what that argument is. I kind of understand that, but I also understand you putting up these stats. Like you really need to be that guy. You are that guy. And I kind of agree with you, Ron. Because Body, he is a good, a great quarterback, man. And it's really gonna come down to exactly what you said. It's politics, and that's my reasoning for Shedeur as well. But I think Shedeur is going to have a year a lot better than what he had last year. Shedeur, not saying he had a bad year last year, but I think the improvement is going to be drastic because he's already seen the conference. He's seen how it's going to run out. He's seen the play. He's only going to go up from where he was before. And he has, Deion Sanders as his dad. So I'm pretty sure they've been working all summer on getting him better in the pocket and better as a quarterback, better on the run, everything better. So next year, this upcoming season, he's going to kind of explode and do a lot better than last year. So that's really who my pick is.
Because he's going to be a sophomore this year, right? Shedeur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm standing behind that. I'm standing behind that.
And just to see this going into the future of, Shedeur and Body, they're going to play each other. It's going to come a time where those 2 athletes have to play each other. And that's when you show who the better quarterback is.
Yeah.
Because games like that, when you have 2 freshmen that's very talented and and if you get Texas Southern up where it's supposed to be, because they're supposed to be a flagship school. I've been to Texas Southern. Their campus is beautiful. It's amazing. Like there's no reason for them not to be a powerhouse in the SWAC.
Yeah.
Look at
just if y'all seen Texas Southern, their campus is beautiful. Like beautiful.
Not only that, man, you got to think about a lot of these schools recruit in state. So if you're at Texas Southern, if you're recruiting in state, you're recruiting from one of the best football states in the country. You got Florida, you got Georgia, you got Texas. Those are some of the best states to recruit football wise in the country. So I don't really understand the correlation how they're not excelling to where they should be with the campus, with the facilities, with all of this going on, the recruitment. They should be up there. I don't understand why they're not.
I think to kind of go off of that point is like knowing the behind the scenes is so helpful of one chain of command, leadership, how they make decisions, all caters into the fact of, what they're able to do versus what they don't do or choose to do, so on and so forth. So it's like all of that, I think that we don't know are probably the biggest, decision making factors of where they are and where they could be. Now, I'm not saying that their administration is not the best because I don't really know too much about it. But what I do know is when you're not on one accord, right, with the people that are making the decisions or the people who have the power to, get your program to have more sponsorships. That's one thing going back to JSU, that I feel like not only is Coach Prime or any of the other coaches of the different sports, right? Because I mean, JSU women's basketball, like we see how phenomenal they were and what they were able to do. So don't want to put too much attention on football, right? But in my opinion, looking at what we are given, the information that's provided, they are on one accord. They make decisions together. The president is in press conferences. The athletic director is in press. Like, they are in one accord. Now, in retrospect, and seeing what Texas Southern has done and just the little things that I've known, there has been some pushback in those areas. And then that has a trickle down effect on building up your program, being cohesive, getting sponsorships, rapport with business, all of that, the business oriented aspect. I think if they could clean that up, the athletics will rise regardless, because again, like y'all are saying, it's not just on the coaches, it's on the athletes as well. Clearly they have an amazing athletic program, just if you're looking at coaches and athletes. So I think the business aspect of it, I want to say that they can just improve upon in all respects of their program. So yeah, I think that's needed for them, because I agree. Like, Texas Southern is I love Texas Southern and watching them in all different facets, and trying to get them to add gymnastics, but we'll get to there later. Right. But like, I literally had a conversation with them. It's just like, they have so many different moving parts, so it's like, I think they just need to clean it up, really, because they could get there for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Coach of the Year, Willie Simmons. Thanks.
You didn't even try to give an explanation of nothing.
No.
Oh my God.
My man.
That line ain't even come across the screen yet. All I saw was the flash at the bottom and Robinson.
Bruh, have you ever saw that little Harry Potter movie and the train just that's how Robin went.
That train, that bus, that double-decker bus.
Yeah, that double-decker bus, boy. That
with the Jamaicans. I'm dead.
Yeah, man.
That was being fair.
Point blank, period. Coach Simmons stands down.
Yeah. Y'all can talk this out, but I'm fine. I'll just sit back and watch. Thanks.
I don't know. This I was in a love-hate relationship, man, because I'm tied between like 2 to 3 schools, and I was trying to look at the body of work of what people have done, like Coach Simmons, his body of work as far as how he turned around the program and, actually going to the playoffs. Then, yeah, literally turn like literally like, oh, what's up? Yeah, he literally turned around the program. And just Dion really just he just flipped. He just did a 360 or whatever? I don't know.
360. That's all right, baby. We got you.
But yeah, 860. Yeah, he did one of them. And just looking at Buddy Pugh and his work and how long he been there, and literally he has an NFL pipeline.
Yeah,
he literally has an NFL pipeline. Like, it never fails. So for me, my heart is always gonna be on South Carolina, boy. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta go with the Pugh. I gotta go with Buddy Pugh, Coach Pugh, man. I gotta go.
Yeah,
gotta go.
Not gonna lie, man. He's a Hall of Famer, man. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's a great. He's definitely a great man. But we forgot about one guy that we've been talking about every day on this show.
Jerry, you breaking up on him. Hold up.
I said we forgot about one guy we've been talking about on this show every day.
Every day. What do we talk
Every
about?
day we talk about Deion Prime Sanders.
Okay.
Every day we talk about him. He's been
We
an
didn't
amazing
forget about
thing.
him. We just didn't choose him. It's a
We didn't
difference.
choose him. We didn't choose him.
we didn't
Well,
you know?
it was the wrong choice. I tell you that, and I'll tell you why. Because he's done amazing things. He's done unheard of things. He's almost like a pioneer as far as HBCU athletics. So I mean, for us not to even choose him when he's landing all these 5-star recruits, I think it's kind of not a good idea not to choose him. So that's my guy, Deion Sanders. He's going to win Coach of the Year, and those they're going to be in the championship game. You know, they're going to be battling for the Celebration Bowl. They're going to be in the top team in the conference.
I mean, okay. The reason why, and I want to piggyback off of what you're saying, Jerry, right? Yes, Coach Prime is the coach, the trailblazer, the man with the plan, right? I feel like I'm thinking of like 2019 Simmons, right? Bringing back the Rattlers for a national, experience, leading them to 9-2, then COVID, right? Then coming back in 21, leading them again. That is difficult in and of itself for any of, the athletic teams that all went through that experience. Not only having that, I'm also thinking when we were at school, the whole situation of them having a pro day, right?
Yeah,
And, you know, scouts was down the street, y'all, down the street. And whatever lack, miscommunication, whatever it is, Coach Simmons had to look his players in the face, bro. And I'm not even taking this away from any other coach from any other HBCU program because I'm pretty sure they all had the same conversation with their athletes who was expecting to see NFL scouts and
right.
didn't see them. Not taking that away, but I want to build this man up because he went through all of that repeatedly. Boom, 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 boom. Then not only having that, you're having 5-star athletes compete and be like top tier, top record. Like we just talked about how amazing Isaiah Land is. Like, and then we have all of this centered attention on who we want to build and sustain a program. And Willie has been there, but he's taken everything with stride. Everything that has been thrown at him, I feel like he's taken it and has done something with it. And I feel like that is to be commended. Granted, again, Coach Prime, he is that pioneer, that trailblazer. But I feel like Coach Prime went in with that already. He would have done that with anyone. In all respect of who he is as a coach, I feel like no matter where you put Coach Prime, I think that he would have had just as great of an impact. You know what I'm saying? It may not
Yeah,
have been the same. You know what I'm saying? But Willie has been with the team like 18 seasons and has been given so many different aspects of what a team is and all of those different athletes that he's done and he's catered to that I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's commendable to see how well he was able to take those challenges and make something beneficial of it. So that's why it's like, of course, I want to, build up my Rattlers because that's my little bias. But I'm also looking at him as a coach and being like, no, he's been given a lot and he's been thrown a lot. And he like, changes in administration, changes in his coaching staff, changing in players, like all of these different things. And he's just like he comes through, season after season. Has there been some times where there's been improvement? Absolutely. But what team hasn't? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to give Coach Simmons his flowers, and he's deserving of that because that man went through hell and back as an institution. So I want to give him that.
I mean, in the same breath, you know, has Dion not gone through like hell and high waters for his
Yeah,
success either? He did some of the
yeah,
same things, you know,
yeah,
for Jackson State in what 19 before he got there, they were like I think what 4-8. I think they were 4-8 that year,
yeah,
and then he came in September 2020, 2022, 2020, and then 21 when they had a season over there 11-2, I believe overall. So I mean, to
Hmm.
switch over from that is a lot as well. I
yeah.
mean, I understand Simmons. He's been there. He's been doing it for a longer period of time. So I
Right.
think for Dion to do it just like that,
Yeah.
you know, speak
But see,
volumes. He's a
again,
nobody.
that's I think it still goes
That's
back
that.
to who
That's that
Dion is
Dion effect.
already. Yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Because Simmons has been here for with the Rattlers for like 5 years, right? He got in there in 2017, right? So it's like, yes, granted, did it take longer per se than Coach Prime? Yeah, but it's
But
still like
then
that
he was
element of
on
who he
academic
is
probation
already.
too. He was
Who?
on academic FAMU was for 2
Oh, yeah, that's
years
right.
while he was
They
coaching.
were,
So he
yes,
did,
while he
You're
was
right.
so you
coaching.
got to think about it. He couldn't even get his players that he wanted to, and he couldn't even get the amount of scholarships that he wanted to. Plus,
Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you, Ron.
You got to think about this for Coach Simmons. He came into a team that was not his, and he really couldn't do nothing about it because you're already on academic probation.
December.
So just like how Xavier Smith, X-Man, literally a walk-on, like literally put him at third string, didn't know nothing about him, didn't even really, he just stuck him on the team because he was a walk-on, and literally the first day of practice he on first string. Like it's stuff like that that makes Coach Simmons a good coach, a good recruiter with less scholarships, and still was winning games.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that point, Ron. But
now he's saying,
moving
Ron,
back to Robin.
Don't even worry. Hold on, but don't even worry about it because me and Ron was a great team because I didn't have to mention Willie Simmons because he went to South Carolina State. Let's remember who Ron voted for. Okay.
Who you pick for anymore, man?
He just knows what it is and what it's gonna be.
I was just help. She don't need no help.
Nah. I'll take the help. I mean, I need the help. Take it. Look, I ain't gonna bite the hand that feed me. Okay. Hey. All I know is you can't look, Willie. Willie.
I ain't gonna lie. That was an excellent point, Ron. That was really an excellent point. But I think that takes away because we don't know the knowledge of what exactly that Deion Sanders went through when he got Jackson State. Only reason why we know about what happened at FAMU because we attended FAMU during that time period, and we were also great fans of FAMU. I'm pretty sure Deion had some problems at Jackson State that we don't know about. And then at the same time, when we speak about just the caliber of who he is, I don't know if that's everything because Eddie George is I think he's in the Hall of Fame too of NFL if I'm not mistaken. But he's a high caliber athlete as well, so he's not having that same effect. He's not having to the same degree of Jackson State. So I don't know. I think it's some of his coaching as well.
No, for sure. I will concur with that. I think it's coaching, a hell of a job recruiting, all of those things. And he's a certified businessman, which at the end of the day, college athletics is a business. Stop thinking that it's not anything else then, because that's the people who think like that are the people who are still stagnant. So, and he's not that. So I will definitely concur with you in the sense of, yes, he is an all-around person, leader, in addition to the things that he's brought to the table. I agree. Because I mean, if you really think about it, not to speak ill will on Jackson State, but we didn't see Jackson State on the rise as much as they are right now, football program, before Coach Prime. Right. And so I will give him that. Yes. So he's done a number for sure. Also, Willie for president. Thanks.
Oh my God. Yeah, thank y'all. But that was the show, guys. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure you share with a friend because to make this page grow and to get numbers and for other people to see it and definitely for our family and for our HBCU family. We want to be out there for y'all. Shoot, Jared, tell the people what you got going on in Instagram, IG, all that.
Hey man, follow me on IG. It's BOOQ _ERT. Again, BOOQ ER_T.
It's Booker T, y'all. It's Booker T with a Q. And take out the K, put a Q because he's a Q. The whole thing.
Booker Q.
Book a Q. Yeah, you can book a Q if you want to. Book me. I'll show up.
Okay. Ron, I would like to start with my Instagram, please. The wholesome Instagram tag RA_ECC910 for Ecclesiastics 910. Thanks. On Instagram only. Power Stores. All of my, my adventures, my experiences is all on there. Feel free to watch. Yeah. Thanks. We're friends.
Yeah. And you already know this boy Brizz on top. He everywhere. He live with 5. He all the way downtown, uptown, and all around town. You already know. Brizz on top on IG. Brizz on top on Twitter. Just Brizz be on top of the news, man. Just know that. Just Brizz be on top.
At the top.
Yeah, at the top. Shoot, we started from the bottom, but we're going to the top, baby.
There it is. There it is.
Y'all be good, man. Peace out.
Bye.